Tabari says what? The earliest sages of our prophet's nation disagree about which of Abraham's two sons it was that he was commanded to sacrifice. But watch what he says. Only the Quran could serve as proof that account naming Isaac is clearly the more truthful of the two. And he gives the views. Those who say it was Isaac, saying they got it from Muhammad, and those who say it was Ishmael. But what does he say? What does he say? What's his opinion? What does he say? As for the above mentioned proof from the Quran that it was really Isaac, he proves from the Quran it was Isaac. Tabari. And he says the ram was Isaac's ransom. Tabari. And where am I quoting from? Al-Tabari, History of Al-Tabari, Volume 2. Prophets and Patriarchs. Tabari. You see how he lied and he just embarrassed himself? You see how he just embarrassed himself? So his entire argument to prove it wasn't pagan. What was his entire argument? All because it simulates Abraham throwing 7 stones at Satan, who tried to stop him from sacrificing Ishmael. But once you destroy that lie, now he has no proof that has anything to do with Ishmael. Oh, I'm still not done. You want more proof that it can't be Ishmael who instituted these rites? You go right here. It's in the description box, by the way, of YouTube. But here you see the full untruncated URL. Mraga, make Rumble great again. Here it is right here. Folks, the Quran proves Ishmael could have never been in Mecca. Ishmael could have never been in Mecca. How do I know? Because here is what the Quran says. It says, Muhammad was sent to a people who had no warner before him. Chapter 28, 46. Nor wast thou at the side of the mountain of Tur when we called to Moses, yet thou art sent as a mercy from thy Lord to give warning to a people to whom no warner had come before thee. Chapter 28, verse 46. Again, chapter 32, verse 3. To whom no warner has come to before. In other words, the Arabs that Muhammad went to never had a prophet, a messenger, or a warner. Here again, chapter 36, verses 2 to 6. That thou mayest warn a people whose fathers were never warned, so they are heedless. See it? Okay, now, and then over here, 6, 155, 157. And this is a book which we have revealed as a blessing. So follow it and be righteous, that ye may receive mercy, lest ye should say, talking to the Arabs of Muhammad's time, the book was sent down to 2 peoples before us, and for our part, we remain unacquainted with it, with all that they learned by assiduous study. Or lest they should say, if the book had only been sent down to us, we should have followed its guidance better than they. Did you see what they're saying? Hey, Muhammad, no one ever gave us a book to study. If we were given a book, we'd be better than them. Because no prophet, messenger, warner was sent to them. But we got a problem, Houston. You know what the problem is? It says that Allah gave Ishmael a book. And this book, Ishmael gave to his descendants. Chapter 6, verse 84, 89. Here goes. Relate the story of Ishmael, 1954, 55, 58. As mentioned in the book, he was indeed true to his promises. He was a messenger prophet. He used to enjoin prayer and almsgiving upon his people. But wait, if Ishmael was a prophet who was given a book and he taught his people how to pray and give alms, then how the hell are the Arabs of Mecca his descendants when we were told right here the Arabs of Mecca, whom Muhammad went to, never had a prophet, a messenger warner, warned them, and they never had a book. You caught the burial? You caught the burial? It's right there. It's in the description box. See it? And nowhere does the Quran say Abraham and Ishmael built a house in Mecca. It mentions the house in Becca, but nowhere in the Quran does it say Becca is Mecca. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them lie to you. All right? Oh, you thought that was bad? Let's finish it. Remember running between Safa and Marwa 7 times? No proof Hagar did it. But we have proof from Muslims that the reason why, from Bukhari nonetheless, why they would run between Safa and Marwa. Do you know why? You guys know why? Let me show you. Let me see here. Let me get the articles. Is it here? No. Is this it? Oh yeah, here it goes. Do you know why Bukhari says it? Because prior to Muhammad, they had 2 idols. One on Safa, one on Marwa. And the reason why they ran between the 2 hills, to touch and venerate the idols. So they run to one hill, touch that isle, run to the other hill, touch that isle. And why did they do it 7 times? For the 7 planets. 7 planets. Remember, I began it by quoting Yusuf Ali saying there were 7 planets that they associated with gods and goddesses. And that's why they ran 7 times. Remember that? So let's go in Safa and Marwa. The pilgrim had to run between the hills of Safa and Marwa 7 times. Why? Because there were 7 heavenly bodies. This comes from Benjamin Walker. You caught it? And here you go. You want proof? That's why they ran between it 7 times. Here you go. Sahih Bukhari, brother. Stuck for Allah. Sahih Bukhari, brother. Volume 2, book 26. Here you go. You ready? You ready here, brother? There you go. Let's read and let's finish it. Narrate Urwa, I asked Aisha, how do you interpret the statement, verily, the mountains of As-Safa and Al-Marwa are among the symbols of Allah, and whoever performs a Hajj to the Kaaba or perform Umrah, it is not harmful for him to perform Tawaf between them, Safa and Marwa. Chapter 2 of the Quran, 158. By Allah, it is evident from this revelation, there is no harm if one does not perform Tawaf between Safa and Marwa. Aisha said, oh my nephew, your interpretation is not true. Had this interpretation of yours been correct, the statement of Allah should have been, it is not harmful for him if he does not perform tawaf between them. Meaning, you don't have to run between them. However, Allah said, no, you should run between them and there's no harm you do it. So now why was chapter 2, 158 sent down? Now, by the way, chapter 2, 158 speaks of Safa and Marwa, but you cannot tell from the Quran where these places are. There's nothing in the Quran telling you Safa and Marwa are in Mecca. You can't find them in the Quran. You have to go outside the Quran to Hadith telling you it's in Mecca, but then you have to prove that those hills were not later named Safa and Marwa in order to explain the Quran. But anyway, let's put that aside. But in fact, this divine inspiration was revealed concerning the Ansar. Now watch the problems they had. When Muhammad told them, run between Safa and Marwa, the Ansar didn't want to do it. Why? This divine inspiration was revealed concerning the Ansar who used to assume ihram for worshipping an idol called Manat, which they used to worship at a place called Al-Mushallal before they embraced Islam. However, assumed ihram for the idol would consider it not right to perform tawaf between Safa and Marwa. See, they had a resistance to it. Hey, wait, man, didn't you tell us not to worship the idols? Yeah. Why the hell are you having us run between Safa and Marwa when it's something we did for the idols to venerate them? See, even they had a problem. You caught it? They're like, why are you having us do it, Muhammad? This is a pagan practice to honor the idols of the pagan gods. And that's why we'd run 7 times in honor of the idols and for the 7 planets. When they embraced Islam, they asked Allah's apostle regarding saying, oh, Allah's apostle, we used to refrain from tawaf between Safa and Marwa. We stopped doing it. So Allah revealed, verily, the mountains Safa and Marwa are among the symbols of Allah. Aisha said, surely Allah's apostle set the tradition of tawaf between Safa and Marwa. So nobody's allowed to omit the tawaf between them. Later, Urwa, told Abu Bakr bin Abdurrahman of this narration, he said, I have not heard of such information, but I heard learned men saying that all the people, except those whom Aisha mentioned, and used to assume ihram for the sake of manat, used to perform tawaf between Safa and Marwa. See, even they're confused by why Muhammad is telling them to continue this pagan practice. Now watch Sahih Bukhari, volume 2. Book 26, number 710. Narrate Asim, I asked Anas bin Malik, did you dislike to perform tawaf between Safa and Marwa? He said, yes. Look, they're telling you, we didn't like to do it because this was a pagan practice. Why? As it was of the ceremonies of the days of the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, till Allah revealed, verily, as-Safa and al-Marwa are among the symbols of Allah. Notice what he didn't say. Oh, Safa and Marwa are the things that Ishmael and Hagar did. It is therefore no sin for him who performs the pilgrimage to the Kaaba or performs Umrah to perform tawaf between them. And then even Abdullah Yusuf Ali admits, look, his footnote 223, page 80. Look, after the pilgrimage in pagan times, the pilgrims used to gather in assemblies in which the praises of ancestors were sung. As the whole of the pilgrimage rites were spiritualized in Islam. So this aftermath of the pilgrimage was also spiritualized. You see what he's saying? Muhammad spiritualized the pagan practices of the pilgrimage. He spiritualized them in order to remove the pagan aspects of the practices. Damn, Gina. Damn, Gina. We're done with part 2. Yusuf Ali's a joke. Lord willing, in part 3, I'm going to quote YASIR Qadhi to show Hubal was the chief god of Mecca, and therefore he's Allah, which makes Allah of the Quran, Baal, the name of Satan. Lord willing.